Hello, and welcome to today's Esoteric Collective reading. I hope you all are having a splendid day today. Quick little disclaimer, normally I have my microphone, but for some reason it's malfunctioning right now, so if the audio is a little different than normal, that is why. However, also, if you're a new viewer of this channel, I have a cat, and sometimes he'll, frankly, play with cat toys or make noise. Right now he's on his cat tower, so you may hear some background noise. Just a heads up, just know it's on my side of the screen, not on yours. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and get straight on into it with what does the collective need to hear today. You could be going through a tower moment right now, like cat being on the cat tower. Or maybe you just recently went through one. And then as I said that, a card fell out. 7 of Cups, sideways. So definitely getting a vibe here. There could have been a very tough discussion recently, whether with yourself or with somebody else, about like if your dreams are grounded in reality or not. Is what you want actually something that you can achieve? I'm getting 2 vibes here. It could either be that the answer to that discussion was yes, and you need to dream bigger, or the answer to that was no, and need to work on baby steps towards achieving smaller goals first. Not necessarily saying that the big dreams can't happen, but more that it's kind of like you'd work on a smaller painting before you worked on the biggest painting that you could, you know what I mean? Baby steps. We're going to get more into this real quick. I didn't mean to say real quick, so this could be something that you either have had this discussion very recently or are going to have this discussion with yourself. Maybe this is a discussion that this video inspires you to have with yourself. The dreams that you have, are they grounded enough in the reality of like the current life you live, the current skill sets you have, the current knowledge base you have, right? 3 of Swords. Yeah, I get the vibe that there's definitely a little bit of a, I don't want you to be upset with yourself if the answer is not what you expect. You know? It could be that... Here, I'm gonna get some more cards before I say anything else. Yeah, I'm getting this vibe that I would recommend you get point of views from other people around you, because I feel like you might be selling yourself a little bit short. Maybe you had this discussion with yourself and you're thinking that, oh, maybe I'm not where I need to be in order to make this dream happen, when in reality you are. There's maybe some imposter syndrome that's creating a lot of heartache here, especially with that 5 of Pentacles in reverse. And then on the bottom of the deck energy is Page of Wands. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. Oh, and right underneath it was Page of Swords too. Let's just see, just out of curiosity. And 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, no, I'm definitely getting this vibe of like... I'm going to adjust the camera real quick, just a heads up. But yeah, I'm definitely getting a vibe that if you've been having this discussion with yourself about whether or not you're worthy of the dreams that you have, I don't think the answer here is that you need to humble yourself. I feel like you're already doing that to a certain extent. I'm getting the vibe that maybe you deserve more credit for the skill set that you're at. Maybe you feel a little bit almost impoverished with your physical reality right now. And you have a vision for what you want to make happen, but it's not here right now. Or at least it doesn't see it. Like it's not in your physical reality. It does not necessarily align with what you would want for yourself right now. And part of big dreams, especially with that 7 of Cups energy right here, it's this idea that having imposter syndrome can create a lot of heartache that isn't necessarily justified, right? It's that idea that if you're going through something where, and I'm going to adjust the camera one more time, so heads up. If you're going through something where you're trying to objectively almost like measure out where you are right now, it can be hard to do that. I just saw 444 on the timer just then, without a point of view perspective from the outside, right? And imposter syndrome thrives in an environment when you're only speaking about the subject matter to yourself. Imposter syndrome, when it almost thrives on that loneliness aspect, which is not what you want. And so being able to reach out to others to really solidify like where you actually are in your reality, especially with that Page of Wands and immediately followed up with a Page of Swords, and I shuffled the cards. I'm hearing the shuffling the cards idea may also be something that's relevant to your life right now. So maybe you like recently dropped a tarot deck or just a deck of cards, something like that. But point being, the idea with the Page of Wands and Page of Swords being like, no, you are where you need to be in order to make this opportunity, this dream, this Seven of Cups energy happen. Both passionately and knowledge-based. Just materially, you see the vision for yourself, but you haven't done it yet. And maybe you have done it yet, but you're not... What's the word I'm looking for? Addressing it like you have. Like this imposter syndrome of like you're prepared for this, but you don't feel like it. But you're not sure what to feel because you're in your own echo chamber. But that's the word, echo chamber, where like imposter syndrome thrives when you're in the echo chamber of your own self-doubt. But when you ask friends, family, maybe even coworkers about the skill set we're talking about here, whatever is creating this like up or down energy with the Seven of Cups, which Seven of Cups is like dreams, you know, that idea of like, I think back to, I have a deck called the Storlore Arcana, I think it's called, and in that deck, the Seven of Cups is shown as the Argo Navis constellation. Basically, it's a ship that flies, very Peter Pan-esque. It's that idea of like a ship flying is absolutely dream nonsense. There's no way a ship could fly, but yet when you apply the fact that, well, people can't walk on water, but a ship can float on water, that is a different way of looking at the idea of a ship flying, like perspective change, right? So using that as a very loose metaphor here, 707 on the timer just then, which is interesting because we have two sevens here. It's this energy of like shifting your perspective around the idea of who you are, what you're capable of, and what you can achieve in this current moment will help you realize that this imposter syndrome you're dealing with might not actually be an accurate interpretation and perspective of who you are as a person. And by getting that input from others, whether people telling you or people showing you what you're capable of, will help bring you out of that imposter syndrome. Yeah, I'm going to pull one more card for you as a final little advice card. Okay, well, a bunch of cards want to come through, so I'm just going to take all three of them. Interesting. Yeah, okay. So we've got King of Swords, Chariot, and the Nine of Cups. And I should note the Chariot was the only major arcana that we've got, but the way that my deck flipped, you've got Justice and Two of Pentacles. So, the vibe that I'm giving here is that I think once you reach out to possibly like somebody older than you or possibly more knowledgeable about the skill set we're discussing here, which you would know because you're you, they'll be able to show you just how much more ready you are for this. And I honestly would say this person may be coming to you to start that conversation, but something you could be discussing with yourself is, am I capable of asking for other people's advice? Am I capable of hearing out the idea that I'm better than I think that I am? Because with imposter syndrome, part of it is like not wanting to be wrong when you're saying you're good. But you have to get over that fear in order to actually believe in yourself that you're worthy of the thing. So my recommendation is to just feel free to sit with yourself, but also feel free to sit with others too. Ask around about this if you're not sure. And I feel like you'll be told through your community where you actually are in this present reality versus what you may be thinking, like where you are. You know, specifically within like a skill set, right? It's like that idea of like an artist working, I'm a painter, so I tend to speak in painting terms, but it's like a painter working on a masterpiece, but they don't like the masterpiece, but as soon as they show the masterpiece to literally anybody else, they're like, whoa, that's so cool, how'd you do that? And then the painter's like, I I didn't even really like it that much. And then as soon as I said that, a bunch of cards just fell. Particularly Ace of Pentacles and 8 of Cups. So even though I wasn't really planning on drawing any more cards. Yeah. Yeah. Especially with a 7, 8, 9 with the cups. Yeah. I think that sitting with... After you've received this feedback from your local community, I feel like it would be important to sit with yourself on the idea that you can and have grown in your skill set, despite what any imposter syndrome may be saying to you. And then, lastly, I just cut the deck, and Wheel of Fortune came out, so... I almost just dropped my deck a second time. I think I mentioned that earlier, dropping a deck, and then I dropped the deck. That's kind of funny. Anyways, all that to say, good luck in whatever skill set you're trying to advance, or whatever adventure you're going on. I believe in you. And if you're still here, please check out my linktree in my YouTube description or YouTube bio to help donate money to Palestine, Sudan, Congo, Yemen, and Haiti, as well as many more. Also, if you have any recommendations for links to put on that link tree to help more places out, I would love to hear them. Please put them in the comments. I would greatly appreciate that. And lastly, if you're an immigrant, particularly in the USA, I hope you have a very wondrous day, a very whimsical, safe day. And I hope you get the chance to try out a new lotion or skincare item. Whether or not you do skincare, maybe just a lotion, but I hope you get to try out a new fun little take care of yourself item. I feel like that'd be fun. But yeah, regardless of your immigration status, please have a safe, beautiful day. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.